Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. This is our Sunday IIT Madras Vivekananda Study Circle class. Last Sunday, we discussed Swami Vivekananda's lecture, which he delivered at Jaffna on his return from the West. It was on 24th January 1897. This was the second lecture that he delivered. First was at Colombo. This lecture is titled Vedantism, where Swamiji presents the outline of Sanatana Dharma, popularly known as Hinduism. Swamiji begins with the question, who are Hindus? Then he points out how that name came to us, and his choice would be Vedantists or Vaidikas. But in general, we all identify ourselves, those who follow the Sanatana Dharma, as Hindus, because we call our religion as Hinduism. Then Swamiji spoke about the main scriptures of Sanatana Dharma, the Vedas. He briefly explained what it is, the two parts of Veda, which is called Shruti and Smriti. What is Shruti? How it is the main pillar of this religion, and how Smriti is written as suitable for the each passing age. Then the other scriptures, Puranas, which brings these highest philosophical ideas to the common man through stories. Then Tantras, which again try to revive the old ritualistic worship, the power of the mantras. Then Swamiji says we have so many sects because we accept there are many paths to truth. So India has always from the very beginning accepted there can be more than one path, any number of paths to reach and realize the truth. So we have so many divisions, sects, and naturally there will be differences. Swamiji says it doesn't make sense to go and understand all the differences, and neither do we have time. So Swamiji proposes, and what he does is to highlight the common ground, the essentials, the essential principles of all these sects which every Hindu must believe. And then he described what are these essential principles. It is not that world is created, it is a projection. And then what is God? Is God partial or impartial? Then what is the soul? So there he points out, if you want to understand God, you cannot understand God by understanding the world, because that is a projection. You have to understand that from where this projection came. And for that, you have to turn within and understand yourself, discover your true nature, and in that, you will be discovering and understanding or realizing what is this called God. And Swamiji says, our word for that is not God, but Brahman. Then what is the soul? Soul is that the manifestation of that. Then he points out one of the greatest principles that India has preached. What is that? The difference is not in the soul, but in the manifestation between me and the smallest animal. So the difference between Buddha and an ant is only in terms of manifestation. The principle, the consciousness is the same. Swamiji calls it the greatest principle that India has preached. Then what is the goal of the soul? The goal of the soul in Hinduism is freedom. It is not going to heaven. There are many religions which believe that the goal of the human soul is to go to heaven. And why do you want to go to heaven? So that you will have more joy, more enjoyment. If you understand and try to see the description of heaven, it is only joy or pleasure multiplied 100 times. I can enjoy, I can have more joy and pleasure, so I want to go to heaven. But Hinduism says, no, enjoyment is not the goal of life. The goal of life is to discover truth. Who am I? What am I? What is my relationship with this power which has created this universe? That is the goal of life. So there will be many heavens, but a Hindu is not interested in going to heaven. There are ideas in sects like Vaishnavism and Shaivism. I would like to go to Vaikuntha, I would like to go to Kailasa. But it is not for enjoyment. It is to be in the presence of the personal God. Even when they talk about going to a different loka, it is not to enjoy, it is to be in the presence of the Lord. So this freedom is what we call mukti. And for that, we have to come to earth. Our scriptures, the general idea we have is, there are so many dimensions in this universe. Wherever you may be, if you want to realize the final truth, it is on earth that it is possible. Next idea Swamiji presents is, the soul is sexless. We have some sects here which say that the soul has the gender. It is a male soul, female soul. But Vedanta in general does not accept it. And Swamiji also says, soul cannot have, consciousness cannot have that gender discrimination or gender kind of classification. Gender comes into being only when the body comes. It is not there in that amoeba state. It is not there in the cell state. It comes only in when it becomes gross matter. Now, next from there we continue. This week, let us see. There are two ideas of God in our scriptures. Swamiji spoke about what is Brahman, what is soul, what is the goal of the soul, and the soul is sexless. And now he's talking about two ideas of God in our scriptures. The one is the personal, the other the impersonal. We have both. There are religions which claim God is only impersonal, and there are religions which claim God is personal. Sanatana Dharma accepts both are correct. The idea of the personal God, that is God with form, either Rama or Krishna or Shiva or Durga, give any name for that. The idea of the personal God is that he is the omnipresent creator. He is always there, and he is the one who has created this. He is the preserver. After creating it, he is preserving it. And then he is the destroyer. He destroys everything. So we have three forms of God for that. Brahma creates, Vishnu sustains, and Shiva destroys. Pralaya. So for each aspect, we have three forms of God which we have conceived. Conceived does not mean that we have imagined it. There are three functions by the same power, and each function has a different form for it. In that form, it is known as Brahma. In this form, it is known as Vishnu. And in the form of destroying, it is known as Shiva. The eternal father and mother of the universe, but one who is eternally separate from us and from all souls. So this God who creates this universe, he is like my eternal father and mother, but he is eternally separate from me and from all the other souls. He is eternally different from me. And liberation consists in coming near to him and living in him. So what is your liberation? Going to Kailasa, going to Vaikuntha, and living in the presence of Vishnu, or living in the presence of Shiva, or going to the place where Divine Mother lives, living in her presence. That is liberation. This is the idea of the personal God. Then there is the other idea of the impersonal, where all those adjectives are taken away as superfluous, as illogical, and there remains an impersonal, omnipresent being who cannot be called a knowing being. So this person, impersonal Brahman, you should understand there is a difference when other religions say that God is formless, but he has good qualities. Why do you say God has good qualities, but he has no forms? Because there is so much evil in this world. If I say everything is created by God, then God becomes cruel. So I have to create something called Satan. Satan is responsible for all the evil in the world, Shaitan. But God himself is pure and very kind and noble. If you come on God's side, he will protect you. If you go on Satan or Saitan's side, he will bring you down and he will take you to hell. So God is without form, Nirakara, but with very good qualities, Saguna. All good gunas he has. All durgunas are because of this Shaitan, the devil. This is the understanding in other religions. Now in Vedanta, God is with form. That is one big number of people believe in that. Equally big number of people, there are philosophies, there are systems which say God is without form and without qualities. Why do you want to impose qualities on God? That is formless, Nirakara, and without qualities, Nirguna. Gunas are three, Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna, Tamo Guna, three gunas. our rishis discovered the whole universe is a permutation combination of these three qualities, sattva, rajas, and tamas. But the creator, that power, that consciousness, that does not have this. It is in it, but it is not controlled by it. It is like the poison in the snake. Snake has poison in its mouth. It is not controlled or harmed by that poison. Similarly, this is created by that consciousness. It is a manifestation, projection of that consciousness, these three gunas. And with those three gunas begins this play of this universe. But that consciousness itself does not get affected by this. So the idea of impersonal God, it should not be taken same as in other religions. They say impersonal means formless, no form. God has no form. He has only good qualities. Our Vedic rishis discovered a one step ahead. They said, yes, God is formless. He is pure consciousness. But he doesn't have the qualities you are talking. That comes later and he is not affected by it. So that is our difference in understanding impersonal God. He cannot be called a knowing being. Oh, does he know something? No, knowing belongs only to the human being. It is through the senses that the human mind perceives the world. Knowing is a process. How do you know something? You know something through your senses. You know something through the mind. That is a limitation. So that knowing supreme being, Brahman, cannot be called a knowing being. He cannot be called a thinking being. Thinking is also something confined to the human being and the manifested other animals. They think, but at a lower level. Man is the animal which thinks at the highest level. So that thinking is also a limitation. So that which created this cannot be called as a thinking being. He cannot be called a reasoning being, because reasoning is a sign of weakness, Swamiji says. Why do you reason something? Because you don't know what is the truth. And through the process of reasoning, you try to arrive at truth. So something which is not known, that which is not had, and which is arrived at, which is acquired through the process of reasoning, implies that this one who is doing all that at one point of time, he lacks something. He doesn't have it. And through reasoning, he has to acquire it. Brahman is not like that. It is perfection, and everything comes out of it, so he doesn't have to reason. He cannot be called a creating being, because none creates except in bondage. What bondage has he, Brahman? None works except for the fulfillment of desires. We all work only for fulfilling our desires. What desire does Brahman have? None works except it be to supply some wants. I want to have something, so I am working. What wants can Brahman have? In the Vedas, it is not the word he that is used, but it. So God as he, no. When there is no gender, he or she, you can use for your satisfaction, but the Upanishads use the word it, neutral. It, for he would make an invidious distinction as if God were a man. It, the impersonal, is used. And this impersonal it is preached. Tat is the word. Tat in Sanskrit. This system is called the Advaita. Tat tvam asi. You are that. What are our relations with this impersonal being? That we are he. We are he. The Guru tells you are that consciousness. Again, related to that ocean wave bubble, there is an ocean. On that infinite ocean, there are waves. Wave and the ocean are one and the same. If you call the ocean as infinite ocean, there is nothing but ocean. If you call that infinite ocean as Brahman, consciousness, wave is a manifestation of that ocean. And that manifestation is called energy or Shakti. Adi Shakti, Parashakti, so many names for it. Sri Ramakrishna would repeatedly say, consciousness and energy are same. Manifestation of consciousness is energy. Brahman and Shakti are same, Abhed. Sri Ramakrishna gives examples like fire and its power to burn, like milk and its whiteness, like snake and its wriggling motion. Like that, energy, Shakti, is a manifestation of this Brahman consciousness. Now on this wave, there are millions and millions of bubbles. Everything that we see in the universe, matter, is a bubble. In the human bubble again, we see differences in gender and differences in color. Color is not physical body color itself. They three gunas, according to the combination of sattva guna, rajo guna, tamo guna. Each of us, we have different tendencies, prakruti and pravrutti. Both are determined by this combination of sattva guna, rajo guna, tamo guna. Now, these bubbles appear to be very separate and different from the ocean. And every bubble thinks I have an individuality. I am so and so. I am a man, a woman, a young man, a middle-aged man, rich, poor, intelligent, so many other identifications. But when the bubble is told by the Guru, a bubble which is afraid of death, a bubble which wants to know the truth, the Guru comes and tells, you are that ocean. We are living in the ocean, and you are the ocean, infinite ocean. The bubble can't accept that. Where is the ocean? A bubble on the ocean cannot understand the ocean. I am now living in consciousness. I say, where is consciousness? It is like the fish in the water asking, where is water? The fish doesn't know any existence other than living in the water. It doesn't know anything other than water, because if it comes out, it dies, so it is always in the water. And if I tell the fish, you are in water, he says, what is water? Because from its birth, it has been living in water. It does not understand that concept called water, because it doesn't know that existence beyond water. Now I am, if you take this whole universe as that ocean, I am in consciousness. But if I ask, where is consciousness? It is like the fish asking, where is water? Now that bubble, the Guru tells, go within you to discover that you are the ocean. Tattvam asi, you are that. When the bubble does that, that is self-introspection, and it goes inside the layers of its human personality, it discovers the truth that I am the ocean. That is called Aham Brahmasmi. I am that consciousness. Now when it comes back to this surface consciousness and sees this multiplicity in the universe and all the other bubbles, it sees with this understanding now that all these bubbles are also nothing but the ocean. And because I am also the ocean, these bubbles are also the ocean, it follows that I and these bubbles are one. Love thy neighbor as thyself, as Jesus says. Why? Because I and my neighbor are one. That is the reason why I have to love them. Why? Because he and I are one. How is he and I one? How am I one with that animal or any other living being or non-living being? The whole universe is one with me because it is manifested from this consciousness called Brahman. Now keep that in your mind. What are our relations with this impersonal being? That we are he. We and he are one. I, the bubble, and the ocean are one. Everyone is but a manifestation of that impersonal, the basis of all being. And misery consists in thinking of ourselves as different from this infinite impersonal being. Why do I suffer? Because I do not know my relationship. I do not know my identity with the ocean. Swami Vivekananda says, my motto indeed can be put in a few words. And that is to preach unto mankind their divinity and how to manifest it in every moment of life. That is what I have my goal in my life. To tell you, you are that consciousness. Manifest it in your every action. That's what is my life's goal, Swami Vivekananda says. Liberation consists in knowing our unity with this wonderful impersonality. What is liberation? The bubble discovering its oneness with this ocean. What happens when it discovers its oneness? What happens is left to the choice of the bubble. It has discovered and it is now functioning no longer as a bubble. When it understands, when it realizes its oneness with the ocean, it is no longer a bubble. It is appearing to be a bubble, but it is now functioning as the ocean, with the consciousness of the ocean. It has no longer that limited identification with the bubble and all the other identifications which come with that primary identification that I am a bubble, I am a man, I am this body. Immediately I have identification. My parents, my husband, my wife, my children, my bike, my phone. All beginning with this basic identification, which comes as I am this body, I am this mind. When the bubble realizes its oneness with the ocean, it is no longer that individual bubble, it is the ocean functioning in the form of the bubble. So it is the identification of the ocean itself. That is the consciousness of the ocean itself functioning in that form called the bubble. That bubble will decide its sweet will, whether it will continue or dissolve into the ocean. So liberation consists in knowing our unity with this wonderful impersonality. These, in short, are the two ideas of God that we find in our scriptures. God with form, God without form and without qualities. Remember this. Because other religions also say God with form is foolishness. You are all worshipping God with form. Hinduism has 33 crore gods. How foolish. It is their foolishness to understand it like that. And they say God is without form. We know also God is without form, and we know more than that, that God is also without qualities. This is not to say that one is greater than another. It is only a process of discovery. And we have accepted through our discovery that both the paths are fine. You worship God with form, you worship that God as without form, without qualities, both are fine. Discover the truth. Now on this wave, there are some special bubbles. What is this God with form? On this wave, there are some special bubbles which are never in delusion, never in bondage. They always know that they are the ocean. These forms are what we call gods. So Rama, Krishna, Vishnu, Shiva, Shakti, you name them. We call them gods because there is perfect awareness that consciousness is manifesting there as that ocean itself. There is no limitation in it. And when I love this Vishnu or Krishna or Rama or Shiva, then I am in fact loving my true self as the ocean. But in this relationship, there is sweetness, there is love. This relationship, some souls say, I would like to have this relationship with God. Sri Ramakrishna would say, there are so many relationships one can have with this. Our scriptures talk about so many relationships. Shanta Bhava is this impersonal being. I am one with the ocean. Shanta, there is no role and play for emotions. Then Sakhya Bhava, like Arjuna, he says, God and I are friends. God is my best friend. Dasya Bhava, you can say like Hanuman. God is my master, I am his servant. Continues that kind of a relationship. There are so many Madhura Bhava, it goes like that. Definite relationship. Santana Bhava, I am also having this attitude that God is my mother and I am her child. Sri Ramakrishna would advocate two relationships with the personal God. Either have this attitude and develop this bhava that you are the child of God. Child of Krishna, child of Rama. Okay, usually child means mother image only comes. So I am the child of the Divine Mother. Sri Ramakrishna held that. We can also have this bhava that I am the servant of the Lord. I am the dasa of the Lord. That is Sri Ramakrishna's advice for having a relationship with God. Now, we'll continue with Swamiji. Some remarks ought to be made here. It is only through the idea of the impersonal God that you can have any system of ethics. Swamiji is making a very deep point here. We talk about ethics. Swamiji is telling you can talk about ethics only through the idea of the impersonal God. In every nation, the truth has been preached from the most ancient times. Love your fellow beings as yourselves. I mean, love human beings as yourselves. In India, it has been preached, love all beings as yourselves. We do not just love your fellow human being as yourself. India preaches, love all beings as yourself. We make no distinction between men and animals. But no reason was forthcoming. No one knew why it would be good to love other beings as ourselves. And the reason why is there is the idea of the impersonal God. Why should I love all beings as myself? You understand it when you learn that the whole world is one, the oneness of the universe, the solidarity of all life, that in hurting anyone, I am hurting myself. In loving anyone, I am loving myself. Hence, we understand why it is that we ought not to hurt others. The reason for ethics, therefore, can only be had from this idea of the impersonal God. Ethics is morality. Ethics is the philosophy. Morality is the conduct behavior. Purity is what you are inside, the degree to which you are free from your samskaras. So this morality or ethics can only be had from this idea of the impersonal God. Then there is the question of the position of the personal God in it. Oh, from personal God, ethics cannot come? Yes, it will come. But Swamiji does not want to take that line. I understand the wonderful flow of love that comes from the idea of the personal God. I thoroughly appreciate the power and potency of bhakti on men to suit the needs of different times. Yes, even by worshipping a personal God, ethics can be practiced, and that can be a source for strengthening my morality. But Swamiji says, what we now want in our country, however, is not so much of weeping, but a little strength. You go on doing bhajans and shedding tears. Swamiji says, enough of that. What a mine of strength is in this impersonal God, when all superstitions have been thrown overboard and man stands on his feet with the knowledge, I am the impersonal being of the world. Perfect strength comes only from the impersonal understanding. When there is a personal God I am worshipping, there is always a fear. I have offended God. This puja didn't go well. God is angry with me. Oh, I am impure. I am weak. Oh, God is not showering His grace on me. God, kripa nahi kar rahe hai. There is a weakness in that. Impersonal, you are not talking about someone God. You are talking about discovering yourself as God. I am that consciousness. Sufi Islam also discusses and accepts this. I am that consciousness. What a mine of strength is in this impersonal God when all superstitions have been thrown overboard and man stands on his feet with the knowledge, I am the impersonal being of the world. What can make me afraid? I care not even for nature's laws, because nature is created by me. Death is a joke to me. What is death when I never have any birth? Man stands on the glory of his own soul, the infinite, the eternal, the deathless, that soul which no instruments can pierce, which no air can dry, nor fire burn, no water melt, the infinite, the birthless, the deathless, without beginning and without end, before whose magnitude the suns and moons and all their systems appear like drops in the ocean, before whose glory space melts away into nothingness and time vanishes into non-existence. That consciousness is what I am. If you can discover that, then where is the question of any kind of weakness or limitation or fear? It is perfection itself. This glorious soul we must believe in. Out of that will come power. Now Swamiji makes some statements, very powerful statements, very deep psychologically, very deep study it gives us. What is he telling? Whatever you think that you will be. If you think yourself weak, weak you will be. If you think yourselves strong, strong you will be. If you think yourselves impure, impure you will be. If you think yourselves pure, pure you will be. Whatever you think, that you will be. Whatever you think, that you will be. Because we create this universe by our thought. This teaches us not to think ourselves as weak, but as strong, omnipotent, omniscient. Oh, just by thinking will it be? You start thinking and see. No matter that I have not expressed it yet, I have not expressed that divinity within me, yet it is in me. All knowledge is in me, all power, all purity, and all freedom. If it is there, why cannot I express this knowledge? Because I do not believe in it. Let me believe in it, and it must and will come out. This is what the idea of the impersonal teaches. You have to believe in it. And in our so-called scientific mind, mindset, we say, no, I cannot believe until you show me. This is not something which comes from the outside world that I show you first and then you believe in it. This is something which is your very true nature. So if the fish questions me, first show me water, then I'll believe in water. What will I show the fish? How will I show the fish water? You are in water. No, I won't believe. You have to believe that first to understand it. You have to, why should I believe you? Don't believe, discover it. I have given you the sadhana paddhati. So many sadhana paddhatis have been given. This is the path we came and we discovered this. You come and you discover it for yourself. Sanatana Dharma does not say you have to believe in God or you will go to hell. No, there is no business of going to heaven and hell. And there is no question of believing in some God sitting in heaven. I am that consciousness. So here when Swamiji is telling you have to believe in yourself, he is not telling believe in God. You have to believe that you are that consciousness. You are not this body and mind. Why should I believe? Because you can discover it. I have discovered it, you can discover it. When you say there is God in heaven, believe. Why should I believe? Have you gone and seen God? I don't know you have ever gone to heaven. Oh, no, it is written in our book. You have to listen and accept it. Oh, you are telling same thing to me. Believe that you are the soul. Why should I believe? I have discovered it. Veda hametam. Yes, in the Upanishads we have this. The Rishi comes and sings and says, I discovered that eternal thing. It is inside us. If you know that there is no more darkness, no more death, it is inside us. The kingdom of God is within us. As Jesus says, kingdom of God is within me. It is not somewhere sitting in the heaven. And that kingdom of God is inside me, and that God is my true nature. Let me believe in it and it must and will come out. That is what the idea of the impersonal teaches. Make your children strong from their very childhood. Teach them not weakness nor forms. Oh, if you don't go to this worship like this, if you don't do this, God will be angry and God will punish you. Don't give all that nonsense to the children. Teach them not weakness nor forms, but make them strong. Let them stand on their feet, bold, all-conquering, all-suffering. And first of all, let them learn of the glory of the soul. That you get alone in the Vedanta. And there alone, it is only in Vedanta. It is only in the Vedanta that you find that the soul is eternally perfect. You are not a born sinner. Swamiji dismisses it and says it is a standing libel, blasphemy to call soul as a sinner. It has ideas, but there again we should understand when it is said like that, it is not the consciousness, it is the Jivatma. That individuality with all its samskaras, that can be called as a bundle of mixture of gunas, good and bad. But the consciousness cannot be called a sinner. It has ideas of love and worship and other things which we have in other religions, and more besides. But this idea of the soul is the life-giving thought, the most wonderful. There and there alone is the great thought that is going to revolutionize the world and reconcile the knowledge of the material world with religion. Yes, this material world, how will I reconcile it with the religion? Because this material world is also spiritual. You have to see the spiritual in it. Then religion means spirituality. The whole universe is one consciousness. There is nothing which is not spiritual. Perception varies because of my awareness, level of awareness. Thus, I have tried to bring before you the salient points of our religion, the principles. I have only to say a few words about the practice and the application. Now he's coming to the practice application of religion, the essential principles. As we have seen, under the circumstances existing in India, naturally many sects must appear. As a fact, we find that there are so many sects in India, and at the same time we know this mysterious fact that these sects do not quarrel with each other. We have some localized quarrels, but that is not on basis of philosophy. It is because of greed or something else. The Shaivite does not say that every Vaishnavite is going to be damned. You are not worshipping my God, then you will go to hell. Certainly. You don't follow my prophet, you will be going to hell, or I will kill you myself. We don't say that. Nor the Vaishnavite that every Shaivite will be damned. The Shaivite says, this is my path and you have yours. At the end, we must come together. They all know that in India. This is the theory of Ishta Devata. Swamiji is coming to the spiritual practice now, practical aspect of these principles. The theory of Ishta. It has been recognized in the most ancient times that there are various forms of worshipping God. It is also recognized that different natures require different methods. You are emotional, your method will be different. You are very rational, your method will be different. You are more psychic, your method will be different. You have more of activity, rajas into action, your method will be different. Your method of coming to God may not be my method. Possibly it might hurt me. Such an idea that there is but one way for everybody is injurious, meaningless, and entirely to be avoided. This is the only way to realize no God. Swamiji calls such an idea as injurious, meaningless, and entirely to be avoided. Woe unto the world when everyone is of the same religious opinion and takes to the same path. Then all religions and all thought will be destroyed. Variety is the soul of life. When it dies out entirely, creation will die. The whole universe is only one. Swamiji says that vibration will end this universe. When this variation in thought is kept up, we must exist. And we need not quarrel because of that variety. There is variation, there is variety. We don't have to quarrel for it. Because this variety is what has made this universe survive. This vibration in these different forms has what made this universe survive. Make the whole thing, every form, every thought is a vibration. Keep that in the mind. Make the whole thing simply one kind of vibration, the world manifestation stops. Your way is very good for you, but not for me. My way is good for me, but not for you. My way is called in Sanskrit, my Ishta Devata. Mind you, we have no quarrel with any religion in the world. We have each our Ishta. But when we see men coming and saying, this is the only way, and trying to force it on us in India, we have a word to say, we laugh at them. For such people who want to destroy their brothers because they seem to follow a different path towards God, for them to talk of love is absurd. Oh, I love God, I love everyone. But you will not love me when I don't worship your form of God. You will not love me when I don't accept your prophet or incarnation. You will hate me and you are ready to kill me. And you say, I love all. So what is that love? It is absurd to talk about love like that. Their love does not count for much. How can they preach of love who cannot bear another man to follow a different path from their own? You are doing a different form of worship. You worship a different form of God. You accept a different prophet. And I cannot accept you. Because you do this different from me, either I want you to accept me or I want to kill you. And you talk about love. How can they preach of love who cannot bear another man to follow a different path from their own? If that is love, what is hatred? You hate me because I worship differently. You hate me because I worship forms of God. Without understanding, I have also the highest understanding of worship, where I am worshipping God not just as without form, without qualities also. Where I don't need to bring the existence of a devil. And you hate me for this? We have no quarrel with any religion in the world, whether it teaches men to worship Christ, Buddha, or Muhammad, or any other prophet. We have no quarrel with them. Welcome, my brother, the Hindu says. I am going to help you. But you must allow me to follow my way too. Don't come and tell me I am wrong and try to convert me. That is my Ishta. Your way is very good, no doubt, but it may be dangerous for me. My own experience tells me what food is good for me, and no army of doctors can tell me that. So I know from my own experience what path is the best for me. My ancestors have followed this, and you come and tell me they were all fools? That is the goal, the Ishta. And therefore we say that if a temple or a symbol or an image helps you to realize the divinity within, you are welcome to it. I am worshipping that form of God, not believing God is simply sitting there. Through that form, through that symbol, it may be a stone, it may be a bird, it may be something else. Through that symbol, I am trying to discover the divinity within. Have 200 images if you like. If certain forms and formularies help you to realize the divine, God speed you. Have by all means whatever forms, whatever temples, whatever ceremonies you want to bring you nearer to God. But do not quarrel about them. The moment you quarrel, you are not going Godward, you are going backward towards the brutes. These are a few ideas in our religion. It is one of inclusion of everyone, exclusion of none. To say that a Hindu is a fundamentalist is fundamentally wrong. I do not say I am only correct. Someone who says I am only correct is not a Hindu. Though our castes and our institutions are apparently linked with our religion, they are not so. This is the point Swamiji repeatedly makes. Caste system has nothing to do with Sanatana Dharma. It is a social system created by us for various reasons. And there have been people who have given it a religious dimension. They say this is religion. But that is not religion. Upanishads does not talk about it. These institutions have been necessary to protect us as a nation. And when this necessity for self-preservation will no more exist, they will die a natural death. But the older I grow, the better I seem to think of these time-honored institutions of India. There was a time when I used to think that many of them were useless and worthless. But the older I grew, the more I seemed to feel a diffidence in cursing any one of them. For each one of them is the embodiment of the experience of centuries. It is a social experiment which has been coming down for centuries together. You cannot simply dismiss it without going deep into that, why it was done, how it has helped this civilization to stay alive. Whereas such big civilizations, Egyptian civilization, this, that, everything wiped out. How? A child of but yesterday, destined to die the day after tomorrow, comes to me and asks me to change all my plans. Swamiji will be very straight with this. So he told we had such great things thousands of years ago. So someone asked in the West, why didn't your ancestors come and teach us if they had discovered all this? And Swamiji says, your ancestors were then living on trees. So where was any question of coming and teaching your ancestors? Your history does not go back beyond a few centuries. And we are talking about thousands of years here in this land. So you are a child of but yesterday, destined to die the day after tomorrow. And you come to me and ask me to change all my plans? And if I hear the advice of that baby and change all my surroundings and according to his ideas, I myself should be a fool and no one else. Much of the advice that is coming to us from different countries is similar to this. Tell these wiseacres, I will hear you when you have made a stable society yourselves. First, keep your society stable like ours for a few centuries. You cannot hold on to one idea for 2 days. You quarrel and fail. You are born like moths in the spring and die like them in 5 minutes. You come up like bubbles and burst like bubbles too. First, form a stable society like ours. First, make laws and institutions that remain undiminished in their power through scores of centuries. Then will be the time to talk on the subject with you. But till then, my friend, you are only a giddy child. What is your America 400 years? And you come and teach me what I should know about democracy, what I should do about civilization, even your Europe, any other civilization? Swamiji says, you first establish a stable society, then think of coming and preaching to us. I have finished what I had to say about our religion. I will end by reminding you of one pressing necessity of the day. Because he says, now I'm going to talk about the practical aspect of religion. Praise be to Vyasa, the great author of the Mahabharata, that in this Kali Yuga, there is one great work, Mahabharata. It talks about all the social customs, the behaviors. It is like a hold-all, they say. I think it was Dr. U.R. Anantmurthy who used that word. It is like a hold-all. Earlier days, people would travel in trains with something called hold-all. Hold everything. All means everything. You can go on putting everything into it and roll it up like a bed and carry it with you. Everything will be in it. So Mahabharata is like that. There is everything in it, from philosophy to practical tips for practicing religion and relationships. Is a mine of wisdom. One of these ideas given there is about dana. The tapas and other hard yogas that were practiced in other yugas do not work now. You don't have that strength, physical or mental. What is needed in this yuga is giving, helping others. What is meant by dana? The highest of gifts, dana, is the giving of spiritual knowledge. Next, giving of secular knowledge. Next, saving of life. Last, giving food and drink. So there is a gradation in dana, gift. He who gives spiritual knowledge saves the soul from many and many births. He who gives secular knowledge opens the eyes of human beings towards spiritual knowledge. And far below these rank all other gifts, even the saving of life. Therefore, it is necessary that you learn this and note that all other kinds of work are of much less value than that of imparting spiritual knowledge. The highest and greatest help is that given in the dissemination of spiritual knowledge. Why? If you get that spiritual knowledge, you will no longer have to go through this process of life, which is called birth and death. There is an eternal fountain of spirituality in our scriptures. And nowhere on earth, except in this land of renunciation, do we find such noble examples of practical spirituality. I have had a little experience of the world. He has gone around the world. Believe me, there is much talking in other lands, but the practical man of religion who has carried it into his life is here and here alone. Talking is not religion. Parrots may talk. Machines may talk too nowadays. We have the robots now. But show me the life of renunciation, of spirituality, of all suffering, of love infinite. This kind of life indicates a spiritual man. With such ideas and such noble practical examples in our country, it would be a great pity if the treasures in the brains and hearts of all these great yogis were not brought out to become the common property of everyone, rich and poor, high and low, not only in India, but they must be thrown broadcast all over the world. Swamiji says, that is my mission in life. All these Vedantic truths which were hidden in the forests, in the caves, I will bring it out and broadcast it. And he did that. He was the first to present it so powerfully in English. This is one of our greatest duties. And you will find that the more you work to help others, the more you help yourselves. Help others, giving them food and water. Help others, giving them life, saving their life. Help others, giving them secular knowledge. Help others in sharing and discovering that spiritual knowledge. For that, you should first discover it yourself, and in trying to help others, you will help yourselves. The one vital duty incumbent on you, if you really love your religion, if you really love your country, is that you must struggle hard to be up and doing with this one great idea of bringing out the treasures from your closed books and delivering them over to their rightful heirs. All that spiritual knowledge which is now stored in your books, bring it out and give it to the common people again. That you have to do if you love your religion, if you love your country. Why? I see my own fellow countrymen totally ignorant of these truths and accepting someone telling that all your gods are false, or your ancestors were all fools, they didn't discover anything. And you have to accept this is the only path to God. And this is land where we discovered Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vadanti. There is one truth, people call it by various names. This is the land where we have accepted every path will lead you to the same truth. With that greatest discovery done in this land, now for our own people to come to this extent degradation, that they will accept someone coming and telling, no, all your understandings are wrong, this is the only path, you have to accept this. And above all, one thing is necessary. For ages we have been saturated with awful jealousy. We are always getting jealous of each other. Why has this man a little precedence and not I? Even in the worship of God we want precedence. To such a state of slavery have we come. This is to be avoided. If there is any crying sin in India at this time, it is this slavery. Everyone wants to command, no one wants to obey. And this is owing to the absence of that wonderful brahmacharya system of yore. Brahmacharya system is not simply about not having sex. Brahmacharya is having tremendous self-control over the mind, how the mind functions, not just the body. And once you learn to have that self-control, you will learn also to obey. And When you first learn to obey, the command will come by itself. It is only when you learn to obey, even if you join a team, cricket team, the moment you have joined the cricket team, and you tell the captain, no, I will not obey you. I want to field where I want. You'll be thrown out of the team. You are unfit. You learn to obey, and if you obey correctly, then you learn all the intricacies of the game. Tomorrow you will be the captain, you will command. Always first learn to be a servant, and then you will be fit to be a master. Avoid this jealousy, and you will do great works that have yet to be done. Our ancestors did most wonderful works, and we look back upon their work with veneration and pride. But we also are going to do great deeds, and let others look back with blessings and pride upon us as their ancestors. Your future will come. With the blessings of the Lord, everyone here will yet do such deeds that will eclipse those of our ancestors, great and glorious as they may have been. That is Swamiji's call. Yes, our ancestors were very great. We have to be great also. Let us be greater than our ancestors. That is the challenge. But we also are going to do great deeds, and let others look back with. Yeah. I'll stop there. If you have